There was once a man who had a deep passion for fine art. He was so enthralled by it that he practically lived for his love of art. Collecting paintings became the lifelong pursuit of his existence. He worked tirelessly to save money in order to purchase more works for his growing art collection. Over the years, he acquired many pieces by famous artists. The man was a widower and had only one son. He passed on his love of art to his son, and was immensely proud when the boy also became a well-known collector, just like his father. Then one day, war broke out. Like many young men of his time, the son enlisted in the military. And soon, the story took a turn. One day, the father received a letter informing him that his son had gone missing in action. He was devastated. It was agonizing not knowing what had happened to his child. Weeks later, another letter arrived. This time, it confirmed that his son had died in the line of duty. The father was shattered. It felt as though half of him had died with that news. As difficult as it was, he continued to read the letter. It explained that his son had initially reached safety, but upon realizing that many of his wounded comrades were still left on the battlefield, he went back, again and again, bringing each one to safety. He was shot while carrying the last injured soldier to a secure area and died as a result of his wounds. A month later, on Christmas Day, the father couldn't bear to leave the house. The idea of spending Christmas without his beloved son was too painful. As he sat quietly inside, there was a knock on the door. Standing outside was a young man holding a large package. The young man said, "Sir, you don't know me, but I'm the soldier your son saved before he died. I don't have much to offer, but I wanted to give you something in gratitude for what your son did. He told me how much you loved art, so even though I'm not an artist, I painted a portrait of your son. I hope you'll accept it." The father took the painting inside and unwrapped it. He immediately took down the most valuable painting hanging above his fireplace and replaced it with the portrait of his son. With tears in his eyes, he said, "This is the most precious painting I have. It means more to me than all the other pieces in my collection." The young man stayed with the father that Christmas, and then they parted ways. Years passed, and the father grew ill. Eventually, news of his death spread. Many art collectors and museum representatives were eager to attend the auction of his famed art collection. Finally, the auction was announced, and fittingly, it was set for Christmas Day that year. Collectors and dealers filled the auction hall, eager to bid on the masterpieces he had collected over a lifetime. The auctioneer stepped forward and welcomed everyone. "Thank you all for coming," he said. "We will begin with this painting." He held up the portrait of the man's son. Someone in the crowd shouted, "That's just the painting of the old man's son. Let's skip it and get to the real masterpieces." But the auctioneer insisted, "We'll start with this one first." He began, "Who will bid $100 for the painting?" Silence. "Who will give $50? He tried again. Still no response. "How about $40? He continued. The room remained silent. Finally, the auctioneer asked, "Is there anyone who wants this painting?" An old man in the back stood up and said, "I'll give you $10. That's all I have. I was the old man's neighbor, and I knew that boy. I watched him grow up, and I truly loved him. I'd be honored to have that painting." The auctioneer smiled. $10 going once, going twice sold. The room erupted in excited chatter. People began to prepare for the real auction to begin. Then the auctioneer raised his hand. "Thank you all for coming. That concludes today's auction." The crowd was shocked. "What do you mean it's over?" Someone shouted. "You haven't even auctioned the real artworks yet." The auctioneer replied, "I'm sorry. According to the will of the deceased, whoever takes the portrait of my son gets all the other paintings as well. That was his final wish."